So today we are building a city in the Celtic wilds of Albion for the glory of Rome in the demo for Anno 117, Pax Romana. The demo is available now through September 16th, so make sure you use the link in the description to check it out. And make sure to pre-order Anno 117 Pax Romana when it releases November 13th on Ubisoft Connect, Steam, and Epic. This video is also sponsored by Ubisoft. So here we are in Albion, and there's already some marshes over here, but thankfully there's some solid ground way over here by our starting dock. So let's get some wood production going. Need a woodcutter. We got some high percentages here. And it's also raining very heavily right now. 98, there's 100%. Now woodcutter to go between these two. I want to have like one grid space separated for the road. So you can go maybe just on the very edge of the woodcutters area. So right there. And then we connect all of this with a road straight to the dock. Perfect. Production is already moving. Bringing whole cartloads of goodies. Never mind the wagon that's already here. Now we also have an objective to build some waiter residences, so we can get that going. Perhaps just off of the edge of the woodcutter, but I also kind of want some room here in case there's more businesses next to the shore. So why don't we go ahead and build roads all the way around the woodcutter, or I guess the sawmill, and then we can build the residences off of this. So we can place them just in a line like this. There we go. And now we can connect all of these to road. I love this quick road function of building around the buildings. But of course, our waiters also have their own food needs, like cockles, which I guess is a shellfish, and eels. I have had eel before, it was very interesting, but the eels need to be in the marshlands, and we're still pretty far away from those. So for now, we'll go with the cockles. And this is one of those shore buildings I was talking about. But something else that we're gonna need for this is a warehouse, so that should actually perfectly fit right there. Beautiful. Now everything's connected to the warehouse. There, now we're starting to collect food for the residents. Ooh, and it looks like there's some business to deal with. A waiter passes you straining under a heavy basket of eels. Someone's already fetching eels. The spy is bird and he stops and hails you. So we can seize his goods, which makes us a tyrant, buy his supply, or do nothing. We have plenty of money here, let's buy a supply. Which gives us 20 eels. Perfect.
Oh, aye, that's what I like to see.
I'm glad you like to see it. I think going through this, we want to be on good terms with the people that are already here. There's plenty of dry area for Roman type buildings. Now we are fulfilling some of their needs, such as food, but we also need public service and fashion, which we're gonna need more waiters to get those, but we are getting more people, so we're slowly on the way to doing that. And the good news is people are happy. And there's population of 20. So now we can get some other buildings, a market and a bard's hearth. Place a fireside community. That sounds like a good thing. Let's see, the woodcutter is also affected by this. So I think building on the very edge of view is going to be good. Lining up with these blocks here. Perfect. And then a bard's hearth also needs to go somewhere, but that could be close to the shore. That seems like a good spot for a hearth to be. That actually looks really good right there. Or build it at the very edge. Nah, we want the woodcutter affected too. Beachside theater, I love the idea. And we already have somebody fighting a wooden dragon here. Oh, good times. I also love the style of these buildings. So, these people should be getting all their needs met. Eventually. I guess the public service is for both the market and a hearth, but we still need some fashion, which means we need much more waiters. But the population is still going up, so I think we're gonna get there pretty soon. And the good news is our food is doing so well, we have a perfect supply. And the public service is on its way there too. Our economy is still hurting a little bit, but we'll turn that around soon enough. Hey, and look at that, now we can build fashion. Reed shoes and tunics. And yet no pants that people seem to be back and forth about. Okay, so we need reed gatherers to do that, and then hemp farm is something normal that we can do, but we need a reed gatherer, so I guess we're gonna build into the swamps earlier than I thought we were going to. But we need a road for this. So let's turn this road here into a main one reaching into the marshes, and then it becomes wood to get across it. Oh, beautiful. Not really sure what direction I want to go with this yet, but we can do that. That is a lot of money going into a road. But this does mean that we can set up the eel gatherer as well, just to make sure that the road is good. Thankfully, it's 100% straight at the edge of this. So we can place you there, I think. The road can stretch to here, and then we connect it. There we go. Now the reed shoes, we need a reed gatherer, which can go straight across from it, I think, or just a little bit staggered. I I kind of like the idea of the marshes being unorthodox, but now we need a soggy mire to make the cultivation area good. So hopefully you don't bite into the eel gathering too badly. And as long as we keep it out of this area, that should be fine. This is out of the eels area, and it's looking like an even plot of land. I like it. There we go, we're gathering reeds. And why don't we build a warehouse in the marshes too, just so they don't have to travel as far. Unfortunately, it's ever so slightly large to go next to the reed marshes, or the reed fields. But that looks good right there. Look at these buildings on stilts reaching into the mud. Who knows how deep they go? People seem to enjoy it. And now we need a shoe weaver, which can go in the marshlands too, and it affects these businesses. So why don't we give them a little bit of a boost to happiness there? And then the tunic production can happen in normal ground. I think the hemp field can stretch out on this side of the road. Want to keep it even with everything? Beautiful. And then you can also affect all these businesses. Not quite reaching all the way to the woodcutter, but pretty close. And we get the most affected buildings right here. So there we go, we have tunic production. Now the question is anybody actually using this road? They seem to be using the roads going through the marshes frequently, carrying buckets full of eels, no doubt. Our population is up to 54 already, that's amazing. And then once we start getting some clothes properly made, that'll be enough to fill all of the people's needs, and then we can upgrade them. Although we are gonna need a decent workforce of waiters still, so it might be time to build more residences. And once we are able to upgrade them, we can Romanize them, or let the local culture develop. Which means that characters might feel differently about them. I don't know, I kind of dig the local culture, so we might go that way. This is still gonna be a Roman city, so I think the Emperor's gonna like it well enough. Yes, we're fulfilling fashion needs. You guys enjoying your shoes? There we go, we can upgrade the residence. So we can choose Romano-Celtic, or Straight Celtic, which boosts different attributes, knowledge or belief. So the Romano-Celts focus on economy and research, mercators and nobles live in larger cities, and the Celts venerate local gods and nature. Smiths and aldermen live in small communities and gather the produce of the wetlands. Oh wait, the Celtics get chariots. That's interesting. Or we get brooches, bird tongues, and aspic. Is that a delicacy? In hand mirrors? Or we get cheese and cloaks. Yeah, we're going Celtics. They know what's going on. I also just love the design of these Celtic buildings. And the Romanized residents are still an option. And we still have a positive waiters workforce, so we're not losing anything there. And now we have smiths, who do have a new need for household goods. And we can do some more production too. Wattle and daub. So we'll need the reed gatherers there, but we already have one in the marshlands, so it should be fine, right? But we do need a mud dryer as well in the marshlands, so we'll need to build a road out further, and let's just have this go a little bit that way. But maybe also branch off to go past the warehouse on this side might be okay. But sadly, we don't have enough materials for this, so we might need another woodcutter. This one would be at 90%. Oh, here's 100%. But that's also next to the main road, and I kind of want to in the trees a little bit more. We can get 100% way back here. That should line up well enough. There we go, more woodcutters, but we also need charcoal burners, which people really don't like, because this is a fire hazard. I mean, there's already some dead trees and whatnot over here, so I think a charcoal burner over here wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. It just needs a lot of trees to actually run properly. And that means we can't build like anything here unless we want a health and safety hazard. But maybe we won't build this way regardless. So let's get this as close to people as possible while still being 100%. Right there. And now you can connect to the main road. Perfect. And for the new class of people, we need to set up cheese and beer. I mean, do you need anything else? We need a barley farm, a malt house, and then the brewery, which thankfully depends on the charcoal burner, but we still need more sawmill production. How much of the raw wood do we have? Probably enough, and it being right here does bite into the woodcutter camp over there, but we have a second one, so I think they'll balance each other out. 2 sawmills, that should give us more lumber quicker. And can we build this mud dryer yet? There we go. So now that we have both of those, we can set up this guy here, and I guess he can go in the marshlands. So let's get you on this weird little corner next to the reed farm. Perfect, so now we can make the, what is this called again? Wattle and daub. It's an interesting name for sure. And now for the cheese, we need an ox farm, which I have never seen it spelt that way, but I love it. Which I guess people also don't like because of health concerns. Oh, look at that sunrise over the marsh. That is cool. The sunlight being broken up by the reeds in the water. It's like its own little archipelago out here. I've never entertained the idea of living on marshes, but I like the way this is going so far. And there is another one over here if we can build over that way. Plus, oh, can you imagine just a cityscape on this mountainside here? Gorgeous. Now the only problem is there's no warehouse in range here, so sadly the two that we have are just evenly spaced enough, but this one should be fine here. And I guess all the reeds that we do have are going towards the shoe production, so we are going to need a second reed farm. If we build this here, can we merge the fields? It does build on top of the other one. I like this idea, but we're also a bit short on the workforce, so we're going to need to upgrade a few more buildings here. Which now we're starting to lose some of the waiter workforce, so we are going to need to build more houses, but we were needing to do that anyway. Can we build houses on the marsh? Oh, it doesn't look like we can. That's tragic. That would be such a fun idea, just a whole bunch of marsh homes. But we can build them close enough to the marshes, which hopefully isn't affecting the charcoal production too badly. And you can fit just on this corner here. There, now we're getting the wattle and daub made. Now, where can we plan for an ox farm to produce cheese? So the ox farm needs to go on the marshlands. Let's see, most of the buildings are there, but I don't want them so removed that it's a pain to get them anywhere. So I think being right here and only affecting 2 buildings is gonna be the best bet. And then we can do that pathway past the warehouse on this side like I was talking about. Also, look at all these goats or not goats, they're elk running through the marshes. Oh, that's fun. And we can place 4 of them around here. Oh, if we were just a little bit in, we could place another one right there, but being right here should be good. Filling in the corners of the marsh very nicely. And there's the 3 wattle and daub we have. Just need 1 more piece of lumber to build all the modules. Okay, unfortunately, this sawmill is not getting any materials because it's all going to this first one, but they are keeping up on production, so I guess that frees up this spot for something else, and then we do get our money back, but now we can construct a building and all the modules. Look at this, we have an ox farm, and they're already breaking the fence. Where are you going? Where are all of you going? Or did we chase them out? We might chase them out, but look at all of these ox. And now we can place in our cheese production, which thankfully makes people very happy. Can that fit right in this spot here? Oh, that is perfect. And it's still hitting the ox farm, plus a couple of residences. Beautiful. And it actually like turn to cheese. Oh, they do for a little bit. But now we're missing a little bit of the smith workforce again. So thankfully we have more room to upgrade, but now we're missing a couple of waiters. All right, so we should be at neutral for our workforce once this home fills in. Now I'm hoping soon we get access to buildings that can improve our health and fire safety. But we still need to make beer. And for that to run, we need a lot more of the waiters workforce. So a couple of buildings go in, and we're definitely gonna need to expand in the marsh area, I think. I think we're gonna need a different woodcutter over here, just so that there can be a sawmill next to it. And that should stop the bottleneck on the lumber production. But now we do have enough to build a barley farm. So let's put you right there, and then this can stretch out in this area behind the warehouse. That looks pretty good. And then just for future planning, we're gonna build a road all the way around all of this. Now, next we need a malt house, which thankfully can fit right in here. Easy. Next is a brewery, which has a little bit of risk, but also benefit. We affect 16 buildings here, and some of these buildings are already under extensive fire safety risk, but the money payoff should be good. Although also over here it affects the charcoal burner. It also fits perfectly next to the residences here, so we're gonna put it here. And of course there's more workforce needed. We can build a few more residences close to town square without affecting any production. And it looks like the woodcutter here is noticeably slower because it doesn't have nearly the forest area it used to. So why don't we replace you? We'll get rid of that one and just build this deeper into the woods somewhere. 90%, 97, there's 100%. There, that should fix things. Hey, city status increased. We are a small town. Perfect. Because our population is over 100. I love it. Can we get more residences in here now? This sawmill area is open here, and that seems like a good area for at least 2 houses. They can be off kilter like that. All right, we have enough smiths now, so that's good news. Just need more people to join our city so we can have more waiters. But the population is constantly going up, so we should get there sooner than later. Unfortunately, we are also... the beer is reducing people's knowledge. Oh, that is hilarious. It's good for labor, not necessarily good for reading. And if we get enough smiths, then we can get their other needs like recreation ground and phantoms. At that point, can we start charging them phantom tax? And there we go, our workforce is neutral. Maybe it's a good idea to go a little bit the Roman way, just so we can retain some knowledge. So I guess that can be what this district over here can become. But that also means that there's another population we need to take care of. Okay, the Phantom does provide knowledge, so we do have that option. We just need more smiths. So we could probably upgrade these guys here to Celtic, but they also don't have any public service. Are they out of range? They might be out of range. So do we give them a Bard's Hearth or a Market? I was hoping there would be a difference between these two, but there is a little more Celtic influence from the Bard's Hearth, and that being on the edge of the marsh doesn't sound like the worst idea in the world. Can it go on the marsh? It can't, but it can go here. All right, we have plenty of waiters now, so we can start to move some of these residences to the smith status as soon as their need fills. But there's also residences over here that we can do that a lot sooner, so let's just do that. We don't need to go Roman. They're Roman whether they like it or not. Oh good, now we have the vigils. Absolutely need fire protection. So the major fire risk area is over here thanks to the charcoal burner in the brewery, so you can go here. But now we need a tile production line. There's another mud dryer. Where can the tiler go? The tiler cannot go on the marsh, which is also its own fire risk. We need to place a building that has fire risk in order to place a building that fights the fire risk. Oh, the irony. We're actually pretty close to the edge of the marsh over here, so it could go over there, just to keep things within range of a warehouse. But there's also a warehouse over here, so we might as well do this. Hopefully this place doesn't set the barley fields ablaze. But now let's have another walkway stretching this way, and then the mud dryer can go pretty close to that. Now, we just connect these roads like so, or can we not? Oh, there's rocks there. I didn't recognize that. Okay, there we go. Now it's connected to this walkway. We don't need all this. Now we also need to build our villa, which has its own major demand. And you also need to be close to the city, but you do have a wide influence. Well, at the very least it can go here. We'll move that lumber camp in due time. Oh dear. Risk of fire. Never any good. Still need a few tiles to build the vigil, but the tiler is working now, so that's good news. All right, thankfully we don't need to move this one too far, actually. Just one more spot up and then just connect it to a road. Easy fix. And look at that, we're making our first tiles. And now we have access to the other need buildings. So we can finally get some knowledge in these people, but that also takes tiles. Let's beat back the fire risk first, because my goodness, that is bad. Thankfully, this one here doesn't need tiles. And I also want it next to the city center proper. So, ooh, actually this is a really good spot right here. Recreation grounds in view of the villa? That's perfect. And wow, these are quite the recreation grounds indeed. They got their own Olympics here. We got spear throwers there. Those really cool horns. I forget what they're called, but I know about them. And just a whole bunch of games. Oh, love it. And this is what the recreation ground has given us, prestige. Good to know it's doing something for us. Now, can the vigil please do something for us? We still need one more tile. Well, we might not get the vigil, but I do love this setup that we have here in the marshes. And that is where the free demo ends. But I really enjoyed how our city was coming together, building into the marshes, and embracing some Celtic traditions. So is that the route you guys are gonna take? Or are you gonna Romanize the wilds of Albion? The demo is available now through September 16th for you to find out, and make sure to pre-order Anno 117 Pax Romana for when it releases November 13th. Thank you guys very much for watching, and thanks to Ubisoft for sponsoring this video. Sub to Intern.